social media is definitely a trap.
When we lie to ourselves, we're also lying to the world when we're projecting something that we're not. And what happens is we start to realize that we're not this person and we're creating an illusion. And then it starts to break us down inside because we're like, well, this is who I wish I was, but I'm really this person. And then we're trying to paint the picture that we're this person. Social media has kind of created an illusion, I guess you could say, on the belief system on what actually happens behind the scenes for high-level rock star entrepreneurs. And I think sometimes trying to keep the pace with the illusion is what burns us out. Maybe kind of give an idea of your perspective on that kind of hustle culture that we're dealing with, because we're not saying don't hustle, but we're also saying have some reality with living in your body and knowing that it needs to move you through every single day, not just working super hard and then burn it out and can't get up the next day. So I think this is a very important topic.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think with everything in social media, it's been blown out of proportion. It's kind of been bastardized to a level that isn't real, you know. So like hustle is real. Like you have to hustle in this business, especially if you've got family. But you know, the culture that we see on social media, a lot of people forget that you're seeing the best part of people's lives and you're seeing the tip of the mountain and not seeing anything underneath for a lot of things. So I think a lot of us get that imposter syndrome, especially realtors. I've found that I talk to, you're scrolling through social media. For some reason, realtors follow realtors, you know, and like, so you just see them closing deals and driving BMWs and slow motion walking with suits on and stuff. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't do any of that. So when I first got into the business, like I fell into that trap hard. Like I had watched like $1 Million Listing with Serhant and all those guys. And when I first got in, I joined a team that was very much like that. It was like, we wear suits all the time. You know, we do like these slow motion videos and like, it's kind of, which is honestly, it's fine for some people. It wasn't me. But I fell into this culture of like, that's what I have to portray. And I have to now switch who I am to this other kind of persona. You know, it's almost like, you know, being a pro wrestler, you know, it's like, you know, those guys aren't really like that in real life. But when they come on stage, they put this thing on, you're like, oh my gosh, this guy's incredible. So I kind of fell into doing that. And I think that was kind of honestly, in the long run, I look back on it now, I'm glad it happened because it was the unraveling that got me down to get me back up. But at the same time, I do see a lot of agents kind of falling into that, you know, the watches, the cars, the everything like that. And if that's your true passion, totally cool. But I think for a lot of us, we just think that we have to act accordingly with that narrative. And I just don't believe that's the way we have to be. And I think for me, one of the big things was that I realized that the people who I was actually doing deals with, my friends and family, you know, the people in my sphere, none of them dressed like that. None of them acted like that. None of them. So it wasn't true to who I was. And I'd fallen for this like hustle mode, beast mode, 24/7, can't stop, won't stop, all that stuff, where really like that's not who I wanted to be. So social media is definitely a trap. You know, I think we definitely need it for our business. I certainly do. I'm on there every day, but you can't get sucked into that world. I think social media needs to be a projection of who you truly are and what you truly care about inside of doing business or doing whatever you're doing. But I think a lot of us fall into this like one path that we have to go down. Yeah, it's challenging and it's really hard to get out of that actually.
It's just a double-edged sword. I mean, it's so many positives, but so many negatives within the social media world. So we just need to focus on the things that's positive that it can bring us, meaning attention and helping us grow our business. And we also need to not dwell in all the kind of chaos and all the illusions and things that we see on there. So you've done a really good job as far as like alignment goes, as far as your stage personality or your filming YouTube personality, and then how you are behind the scenes. They're very well aligned, meaning a lot of people meet people on social media, and then when they watch them on social media, and then when they meet them in person, they're completely different. And that misalignment creates a lot of conversion issues for one, because people are thinking, oh my gosh, this person I thought I knew is completely different. So if you guys do have a different kind of delivery flow, which everybody does on social media at some point, you have to kind of find that stage personality. The more you can align both worlds, the consumer facing social media projection versus the reality of how you are behind the scenes, the easier it is to have conversions and also to have people stay in your life and have repeat business long term. Now, this is a big problem. You see like people posting pics like 4 a.m. I'm at the gym grinding. Yeah, maybe they were up one night at 4 a.m. and they did go that day at 4 a.m. But are they doing that every single day at 4 a.m.? Right. So it gets to a point where it's like, also we talk about self-esteem and how to build it. When we lie to ourselves, we're also lying to the world when we're projecting something that we're not. And what happens is we start to realize that we're not this person and we're creating an illusion. And then it starts to break us down inside because we're like, well, this is who I wish I was, but I'm really this person. And then we're trying to paint the picture that we're this person. But the reality is we go home and we live in this body, and it does create emotional issues and self-esteem issues.